Hi, welcome back. For those of you that haven't tuned in before, my name is Deborah Thompson, and this is Changed by Choices channel. And the other day, I shared a little tidbit about prunes. People are like, what? What I want to give you when you pop into this channel is information about how to use things, what to do, how to do them, and as well as product solutions. But nutrition and basics are a lot of the solutions that we need first. I mean, you can't out supplement a bad diet. So if I've got all these amazing products from Young Living to share with you, you might buy a whole bunch of them and then they're going to sit on your shelf because you're drinking 3 cans of Coke a day. And you're just like, it doesn't work. I'm going to leave it there. That's not what I want. So when I'm sharing stuff that is as relates to my nutrition, so right now I'm going through my nutrition and sports and exercise. So we are going through like the whole gamut of muscular generation, and in this case, this chapter and the portion of it is on bone health. We did talk about cellular health, about bone health and calcium. And so the reason I mentioned the prune thing is because the other day I learned about prunes and how they support bones. I was like, what? Shut the front door. Prunes, boron, source of boron, and how they help with bone mineralization, which is really important. Some really big wow moments, and I did recommend the Super Cal Plus, which I'm going to recommend that again, but I wanted to share with you some of the tidbits on why that's important. And I learned that today. So for those of you that aren't aware yet, I'm closing in on the final portion of my Certified Holistic Nutritionist Diploma. So I am so pumped about that. But that's my other passion, is that, because that brings all the little tidbits together of why Young Living products are really the cat's meow. And this studying I'm doing is completely independent of Young Living. But what it's teaching me is that the products that we have are products made for a solution for something. So get this, we're talking bones. I'm not going to squirrel too much. Bones. Skeletal mass is both cortical and trabecular bone. Okay, so stay with me here. I know it's a little science info. 80% of our skeletal bones are cortical bones, which are found in the shafts and the long parts of the bone and the surface of the bone. Okay, get this. The greatest bone density peak. So as our body grows, before I used to think it's only kids that have to really be concerned about strong, healthy bones and a good diet, or as women age, menopausal, postmenopausal. Very important times. But did you know that with your skeletal, most of your skeletal bone, 80% of it being the cortical bone, that the cortical bone doesn't reach its peak bone density until you're like 30 or 35 years old? So technically, horses don't finish developing, and I'm telling you horses because we have them and I barrel race, and I'm very passionate about their health as well. Horses don't fully mature in size and their structure until like 7, 8. I've had horses when they're 8, all of a sudden blossom. I'm like, holy man, you grew up. Well, think about that. Your bones aren't done growing up. The cortical bone portion, 80% of your skeletal system, until you're 30, 35 years old. Interesting. Think of your body and how many of you have treated your body like an amusement park until 30, 35 years old. We've all done it. We've all ate junk and learned the hard way. And the only reason we're on certain missions is because we figured out something else to support, right? The other part, the trabecular bone, which is the other 20% of your skeletal bone, is found at the ends of the long bones and below the surface. So the inside of your bones, and that doesn't reach its peak and bone density until you're 20, 30 years old. How many 20-year-olds really care about their bone density? Not much. But that's how long it takes to peak. That's amazing. So that's it. I'm going to refer back a product to use because source is very important. Super Cal Plus. We get our calcium source from red algae, so marine minerals, which is really important, right? So the red algae, you can do the research on that and find out why it's important, why it's premium. And the other part is obviously your diet, right? So you can't out-supplement a bad diet. So eat your broccoli. It's a source of calcium. Eat your Brussels sprouts. I'll say that. Never used to be a fan. Eat your almonds. Source of broccoli. Or a source of calcium. Source of broccoli. Most people would rather have almonds than they would Brussels sprouts. But there are products that are fortified with calcium. Now, fortified cereals, grains, whole grains, good source of calcium. But you have to go whole grain, guys. You can't go the white flour. Everything's refined out of it. So not much point in that, right? But all of your dark leafy greens are what are going to give you a good source of calcium. So fill up on those. And obviously dairy, that is a good source. Like kefir is a good source. Cheeses that aren't orange. Cheese is not orange. Okay. And it's a good source of calcium and a good source of fat. We need healthy fats. So with calcium, going back to the Super Cal Plus, the reason it's important too is because we have vitamin D3 and K2. D is a powerful regulator as it relates to calcium and the phosphorus metabolism. So that's a really key piece in there. But without D, the whole process doesn't match up. It doesn't line up. Okay, so that's one of the other big parts of it, what your supplement has in it. So D3 and K2 help with the absorption and channeling of the calcium to the bones. So it's not just floating around and gone. Now, if you don't have a good source of calcium in your body, your bones are going to give up the calcium to assist with all the other body functions. And your calcium is also very hormonally driven. Your parathyroid, along with vitamin D, help with the calcium regulation in the blood. Like, holy wowzers. So when you think about it, your hormonal health, your diet, your supplementing, how much you exercise, actually exercise with some impact, or weight bearing, that kind of thing, is important for bone density. They need that. So like jogging, good. Walking, not, it's good to walk, but your body needs some impact to make sure the bone density is stimulated, basically. So yeah, how about them tidbits? Just wanted to share with you along the way. So focus on eating well, getting your calcium. If you're not, you got to supplement. Have good sources. Don't get supplements that are fortified with different other preservatives and fillers inside your supplement, or foods that are fortified with a calcium that is really not bioavailable to your body. If you can't absorb it, it's useless. So anyways, tidbits for today, and keep being amazing. Till next time, take care.